glad to have you rejoin us after the news, and we did promise you that we're going to bring a public affairs analyst and also a media consultant, Mr. Akatugba, to talk with us on the redesigning of the Naira. Remember that financial experts and analysts have expressed mixed reaction over the proposed Naira notes redesign by the Central Bank of Nigeria. On the news, you heard Omoyele Sowore as one of them, or one of the people who has talked about it. The CBN on October 26 made known its decision to redesign the 200 Naira, 500 and 1000 Naira notes by December 15, 2022. The Apex Bank added that the existing notes will no longer be regarded as legal tender by January 31, 2023. And justifying the development, the CBN Governor Dr. Godwin Emefiele lamented that 85% of the currency in circulation is being hoarded by Nigerians. And Emefiele added that the redesigning of the Naira notes would help to curb counterfeit as well as hamper ransom payment to terrorists and kidnappers. The announcement has generated polarized reactions even within the government itself. And like I said, to have this conversation with us, we have today Mr. Theophilud Akatugba. Good afternoon and welcome to the program, Mr. Akatugba.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Great to be with you on Plus TV.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good to have you join us. Well, a lot of people have talked about this redesigning of the Naira. We've had divergent opinions about what it is. Some have condemned it and some have said that it's a good thing for us as a country. What is your own opinion about the redesigning of the Naira, and especially in this short space of time leading to election?
Well, the moment I heard of it, the first impression I had is that it must be for security reason, and also to protect the sanctity of the election, so that all the reforms that have been put in place will not be rubbished by vote buying and the capacity of those with a lot of cash that you cannot control, creates all kinds of distortion in the electoral process. You know, if you look at it from a nationalistic point of view, you will understand that the president will not take this decision without due consideration to the possible consequences. There is always a consequence in every decision. And I believe that the purpose of this is to deal with very serious security threats that the country currently faces. So my opinion is that it's something that we should not jump to criticize. We should rather be very cautious with our criticism of it, because we have always said that the government should do something about insecurity, and there will be unusual decisions. And this decision, I regard it as an uppercut to the criminal enterprise that has been prevailing in this country.
Yeah, but you know, if a thief wants to steal, whatever change you make the Naira to become, he will still steal the new Naira notes. Some people have also said that now, if there are kidnappings around the country, they will start demanding in dollars, and that would even be worse than what is kind of a Pyrrhic victory for Nigeria. What do you have to say about that?
Now, those two opinions will appear to be very true when you look at it from the surface of it. We are not saying that there will no longer be thieves in Nigeria. There will no longer be looters. But what is being dealt with currently is that 82% of the currency in circulation are not within the banking system. So if you have 82% of your currency that are all out of the usual banking system, do you know that your country is in great danger? And so in order to arrest that situation now and be able to identify where some of those monies are, this policy becomes necessary. Otherwise, you cannot just say, let's keep hoping that they will bring the money to the banking system, when you know that the law does not even allow people to have so much cash in their possession. So the government is trying to put a tab. There's been so much money, so much transaction that have gone on outside of the banking system in the name of paying for ransom, in the name of not even looters. A lot of the looters don't loot They have looted a lot of money, and on a daily basis, they are buying dollars. So you can imagine the pressure on the Naira, and that is not reporting in the volume of imports, goods that are imported into the country. So you see, if you buy so much dollar, if there's so much pressure on your dollar, on your currency, and it's not reflecting in importation and in payment of import duties, the government got to do something. You see, there are a lot of people who criticize government, who do not support the government, and they believe every policy you must pick holes and criticize. I think this is one of such. Even Kingsley Morgan, the former CBN governor, is not such a fan of the government. But when you saw his analysis and explanation, every well-meaning citizen should be offended and should be alarmed that 82% of your currency circulation is not within the official banking system. So this is one policy that I think is very bold, very audacious, but there are consequences, like the finance minister warned. And I believe they have weighed it adequately.
All right. The CBN governor has come out to list a lot of things he says will be the advantage of changing the look of the Naira. Among them, but they are not limited to them, is the reduction in inflation, currency counterfeiting, and excess of cash in circulation, like you already mentioned. There is no advantage without disadvantage. It's just like you mentioned. If we begin to look only at how it is going to benefit Nigerians and the country, what are the loopholes? What are those things that will not be so beneficial if this change happens?
Well, the first thing that will happen, as we're already witnessing, is that there's pressure on the Naira much more, and quite rapidly. The Naira value is depreciating because of the knee-jerk reaction. The fact that everyone is panicking, is trying to buy as much dollar as they can buy from what they have in stock. And one day, that's the consequence. Inflation will not reduce immediately. It will reduce when the pressure on the currency goes down and the currency starts appreciating. That will not affect inflation, because most of the inflation we're experiencing right now are imported inflation. Imported inflation, and also the fact that our food stock has dwindled because of insecurity. And insecurity is fueled by so much money in hands of criminals, able to buy ammunition, buy guns, and create more insecurity. The government has been able to take dominance of the entire forest areas, and in fact, you see a decline in kidnapping numbers, a decline in banditry. So the government knows in all areas there's what you call activities going on. Now, loopholes. If you look at it, first, you will see a lot of these monies will come back to the banking system, because they are told to bring the money. Nobody's chasing you. If you have $1 billion, bring it. Access Bank has announced that they will be taking cash deposits on Saturdays, and they are open between 9 and 2. Other banks are going to open during the weekends so that there's no excuse. The government is saying, bring the money. We don't say you have right to change your money. So bring all of them into the banking system, get your proof that you have. If the EFCC want to speak to you, they will speak to you. If you can verify the legality of your business, no one will talk to you, we will touch you. But if you can't verify why you have $1 billion Naira in cash, there's no trail of sale that you have made, there's no goods that you have sold, and then you have questions to answer. But for those who do legitimate business, they can change their money. It will not affect the value of the currency in any way. It will not increase or reduce it. Your money you brought to the bank, you get the new currencies of it. However, to stem the tide where people can buy guns, because a lot of these illegal arms dealings are done in hard cash, in dollars. And so daily there is a demand of dollars, but it doesn't benefit our economy. It only fuels more crime. It only promotes more insecurity, which leads to shortage of food, which increases inflation. So all these have what you call connecting effect on one another. So when the CBN says it will reduce money in circulation, because if you had $1 billion in cash and you have been going to Forest Bureau to buy in cash, Now it is in the bank. You have to transfer it. So a lot of the e-transactions will increase because many people will stop hoarding cash, knowing that the currency can be changed. I think people have forgotten. It's been a long time this has happened. And so they've gone back to the business of hoarding cash.
Yeah,
I think this is a good policy for all of us, for our country, in my opinion.
Okay, well, in Buhari's first missionary journey, as I would like to call it, there was a change of, or a redesign of the Naira notes as well. And the same reasons that they're giving now are the reasons that they gave in those days. And we also heard a report, there was an assessment done within Victoria Island on Monday alone, that the money that was changed with the Bureau de Change people within Victoria Island amounted to more than 2 billion Naira. So people are already rushing to change their money into dollars, not necessarily just taking the cash back to the bank. But what would you speak briefly now, because we are wrapping up, what would you say about the banking system itself? The banking system itself, what would you say about them? Because a lot of people keep this money legitimately at home because they don't even trust the banks anymore. With the charges, with you don't even know what is happening tomorrow. Weekends you are going to withdraw your money. There's no money at the ATM. All those little factors contribute to people keeping their money at home. So what would you say about the banking sector that is not even helping matters?
Yeah, well, we have always had problem with our banks, and I think the banks have a lot of confidence building to do. The banks have, over the years, and all of these illicit activities. You remember that up to today, we still have suspicion of banks are trading forests, haven't obtained them from the official source, and some of them will go behind and sell in black market. We have these accusations. We have a situation where banks will have about 10 ATMs and only 2 will work. These are things the banks need to do. Thank God that we are happy that the CBN says that no more penalty or no more charges for deposit of cash. Nobody will charge you anything. It's free deposit. Withdrawals, of course, the rules of withdrawing beyond a certain level is still in operation. So we believe that our banks need to do a lot more to help the economy, to make people trust the cashless system. I believe the banks have a lot to do. I know that they have not done so well, and they have not supported the citizenry and made life easy for them. They've not made our cashless situation any better. Just like you said, I remember when I travel, I have to run around in Delta from my place to Warri looking for a functioning or ATM that can dispense cash. And then that has increased the advent of POS cash vending systems around the ATM machines or ATM galleries. So the banks have a lot of work to do. Okay. And I am sorry they have not done so well. They need to up their game.
All right. Well, Mr. Akatugba, it's so good to have you share your thoughts on the redesigning of the Naira. So thank you so much for coming on our show this afternoon.
Remember that at this time, there are big politicians in the game and there are small politicians in the game. The bigger ones could have stocked a lot of currency in raw cash, and the smaller ones don't have that kind of war chest. I hope you know that this policy gives a level playing field. It's possible.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Akatugba. We hope to have you soon on another topic that we'll be talking about, but that will be sometime later. Thank you so much for being
I hope it has been useful.
Yes, it has been. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, we're talking finally with Mr. Akatugba, a media consultant and also a public affairs analyst. He was talking about redesigning of the Naira. Your watchers, we are going to find you out right now. I'll just open my bank account, bring maybe 1 billion out of the many billions you have. When I change it for you, you give me 50%. You know, people will make business because it happened in 1984. That's what I'm saying.
All right, and that's it on today's edition of The Run-Up. Thank you so much for being a part of it. The Run-Up will return, but it will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. We'll bring you more interesting topics. My name is Uchechukwu Onodo.
And I am Nyamgul Agaji. Have a nice day. Be a good Nigerian.